We're doing 3 full racks. I have cut the 3 full racks in half, so we've got 6 half slabs. There are 3 halves in this pan and then 3 halves in this pan here that's just off camera. And we're going to start by doing the seasoning up the back side first. There's the front. We're going to do the back. Now, a lot of people will cut and make incisions in this membrane. The way you do this, you don't have to. You will never even know it's there. We are going to start with pouring about an inch or so, 3/4 of an inch to an inch of apple juice. And this is just generic apple juice, you know, from the juice aisle at the, you know, nothing special about it. That's enough, and actually I'm going to say that's probably more like a half an inch of apple juice. And we just don't want that apple juice standing in there, so just kind of wipe it off so you don't have a puddle of apple juice in there. Okay, I'm going to use 2 different dry rubs. Sometimes I'll make my own dry rub, but you don't really have to. This stuff is awesome, and I'm going to use this on the back. And you want a good coating of it. You don't just sprinkle it. I mean, you pour it on. Now, go ahead and flip these over. We don't do a whole lot of seasoning to the back side of these, because the top side is where all the meat is. So that is where you want all your seasoning. Now, next thing, just any kind of spicy mustard, any kind of mustard you want, really. I like to use this. It's just Walmart brand or Kroger brand. Coarse ground mustard is good. Give each half rack a nice few blobs of this on there. And then I'm going to use some of this Screamin' Mimi's pepper sauce. And this hot sauce, this is fairly hot. You know, I'm not gonna just dump it on. So this I'm going to be a little bit conservative with, and just a little bit, just to heat things up just a bit. I like my barbecue a little bit spicy. So okay, now get you I'm just using a paintbrush and just coat that hot sauce and mustard all over the top. Get every little piece of the top of these ribs coated in that mustard and hot sauce. And you can use as much or as little mustard and hot sauce as you want. It's just it gives it a really good flavor. I am a big fan of mustard-based barbecue. Now, if you're going to do these on a smoker for the entire time, this mustard will get a really super nice bark on it. Excess float down in there. Alright, now on this side of the ribs, today I'm going to use this dry rub. It's Famous Dave's Rib Rub. This stuff is really good because it has celery seed in it, and it's a nice little Nice little added flavor. It's a really good rub. Just give it a nice coating on top of that mustard. You can add a little bit of hickory liquid smoke to this, just kind of around inside that apple juice. The reason is because I do a lot of barbecue on my smoker, but this rib recipe I am not going to put on the smoker yet. It is going to go on the smoker, but not for about another 4 hours. I'm actually going to preset my oven to 250 and cover this nice and tight. And these are going to go in the oven for approximately 4 hours, at the very minimum 4 hours. And then once they come out of the oven, they should be just about falling off the bone, which is what you want. Now, if you take these out of the oven and they are not tender yet, make sure there's plenty of liquid, you know, apple juice and such in there, and bake them longer. With barbecue, the longer you cook it, as long as there is moisture, the meat is not going to dry out. It's only going to become more tender. So put them in for 4 hours and don't touch them. 250, 4 hours. Leave them alone, forget they're in there. And then at 4 hours, pull them out. If they're tender and starting to somewhat fall apart, then they're ready to go on the smoker, and then we'll get to that here in about 4 hours. So, alright, that's what we got so far, and we'll see you in 4 hours when we get the grill going. Stand by. Okay, well, it has been 2 hours since I put these things in, and I have them on 2 different racks, one above the other. So now that they've been in there for half the amount of time, what I'm going to do is actually switch them and put the one that was on the bottom rack on the top rack, and put the one that was on the top on the bottom. Now, just to show you, this is what we've got halfway into the cooking. They are looking and smelling awesome. So we're going to put them back in and let them go for another 2 hours and finish them up. Stand by. Okay. Well, I just put those things back in the oven. Now we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to prepare sauce, and we're going to prepare our wood. I'm using these today. I like using apple. Woods for pork are pretty much any fruit wood. And these are big chunks. You see that? And so you can use apple, cherry, hickory. Those are the 3 big ones. And those are by far the favorites. Hickory, cherry, and apple. for smoking pork. Oak and mesquite are good for beef. So here's what we're going to do here. I'm going to we're going to soak these chips for the remaining 2 hours that these things are cooking. I'm going to pour some apple juice in there, and I'm going to pour a whole beer on the chips or the chunks. And then we'll drink the rest of that beer later. But yeah, we're just gonna let these chunks sit and soak up all that beer and apple juice. And what happens is when you put these things on the grill with these wood chunks, the moisture from that wood that it's going to soak up keeps it from just burning up, and they end up being able to smoke instead of just turning to flame. And the moisture, like I said, that the beer and apple juice are putting into the wood will create steam, and you'll get that beer and apple juice infused steam along with the smoke going up into the meat, which just adds even more flavor. So I'm actually going to take this, I'm going to top this off just so the chips are submerged in water. So it's not exactly something you'd want to drink, but it certainly helps with the flavor of the ribs. We still have about an hour and 45 minutes left of oven time on the ribs before they go on the smoker. And also, just as a side note, I did actually turn my oven up to 275. I was running a little low, so I turned it up to 275, and that's where it will remain until we take them out. Okay, these just came out of the oven, and what you want to look for is you want about a quarter inch, half inch of bone sticking out, and you want them to be flexible like that. And like, for instance, there's a bone that just fell out. See, so you know these are, I think these are just perfect because these are going to be good and tender, but they're not so tender at this time that they're hard to mess up on the grill, because sometimes if you actually overcook them in the oven and you're trying to maneuver them on the grill, they'll just fall apart. And I think these have just reached that happy medium. So oven off, and pulling the rest of them out, and then we're going to go play with the grill. Stand by. Okay, so now take these wood blocks and put them on there, just scattering them around. Hey. And then we're going to put them up here on the top rack. And so just like traditional indirect heat, we're not putting any of these directly on the fire, just off to the side. And let those give it a base of sauce, and then we're gonna let them smoke. And I don't show on my cooking videos how I make my sauce, so I'll just say that it's mustard base, it's spicy, and it's got bourbon in it. That's as close as I'll get.
Back and forth, down through the Sedona switchbacks.
I drove by people from here.
And so the post office is closed?
The bank's closed?
I think so.
Remember when we used to get called to stay off at the pool?
What happened to that?
I don't know.
I guess they started getting their funding based by the days to fluctuate the seats. That is a problem.
I have to call in on Monday.
But if the government shut down, why can't we shut Green Bay or ribs?
No, green.
Ribs.
Well, it's a boar. We caught it in Tennessee.
Ribs. My dad shot one of those. Had a taxidermy. Had the butt over the toilet in the bathroom and the head in the wall across the other side of the wall.
I'd like to have a
Everything.
head or something, a lion or a deer.
Alright, they are done. And this is what you end up with as a finished product. They are absolutely falling off the bone, nice and smoky. I'm serving this with broccoli cheddar cornbread and collard greens, going full on southern tonight.
It's very nice.
Very nice.
Yes.
Mike?
Very nice.
Randy's having a moment.
Oh, Randy. This is a family show.
It's very tasty.
Mike has gone back.
He's gone rogue.
He's gone back for more.
Extra ribs.
Yeah, more.
Damn! More!
I can't eat more. I might explode.
Explode.
No, just explode. I mean,
Explode.
there's not even full explode. Just already full enough that's exploding.